all about it.
Well, we are here today.
This is the final meeting, and we are very pleased to be here and to get along for 1 year of work in common. So, what could be in 1 month from the finish, the conclusion or the great
Impact
or strengths of this project?
If it is not too early to talk about final results, outcomes, or possibly impact of the project could have on our partners institutions, I can say that we have used a great opportunity to work together, to know each other better, to I wouldn't say analyze, but to compare our approaches to teaching the entrepreneurship and find a lot of common points we can build on further, I hope, in extension of this very project or maybe some other one. But there are also some differences which each of them can enrich our own practices. I would especially mention the point we just recently heard from the Finland about the failure day, and I like it very much. And during our conference about education for entrepreneurship, it was mentioned by His Excellency Ambassador of Finland as an, let's say, contribution to better understanding of entrepreneurial dynamic, attitude, and possible practices. And I would like to introduce this into our project outcomes. From other side, there was a great possibility for our students to know each other, to exchange their experiences and practices, learning and practicing entrepreneurship, different curricula approaches, which all together can make a great contribution to the overall aspects or perspectives of teaching entrepreneurship, not only in our institutions, but being broader implemented as a way of doing these things.
To be in this project for teachers, it could be a great training to be entrepreneur, don't you think?
Yes, and I would especially like to stress this cultural dynamics, the cultural understanding that comes with this project, and the how we learn to use different tools, communication tools, how we build networks of people, institution, knowledge networks, experience based on knowledge and experience that we have definitely seen in this project, and I would lift it up and stress it as very valuable.
Okay, thank you. And Marzena, for you, I'm going to ask, what do you think it could be the future of this project?
Well, there are so many outcomes and so many new questions and opportunities, like in each project, I believe. But one thing that we were specifically been discussing today is, I believe, very valuable. And that is that regarding universities and faculties, it's not really important to introduce a specific program on entrepreneurship. But in today's world, where the youth of your country and mine and all others are facing the problem what to do with the diploma, with the degree after finishing, it's very important to empower them with knowledge on entrepreneurship and with necessary skills. And I believe that this project was a good start. We found out about some ways how to approach the students, how to let them know about entrepreneurship, how to improve some of their skills. And I believe that the idea that some of us already have or have heard about, to introduce some courses or some projects or some substitutes in the already existing programs is very important. So to empower young people with knowledge on entrepreneurship possibilities.
Okay. Do you have any question for me?
Yes, of course. I just wanted to ask you for your impressions during this whole year working together, for possibly not mentioned obstacles we have working together, or some achievements which are not mentioned by our colleagues. So what is your view or overview of
all the projects and working together? So I think that we have it's not lots of problems, but we have some problems. It's not mine. And all the time we can have a good solution, and so that's of course I think we improve our own skills to be improvising, to be entrepreneur, to think about projects and to solve the problems in the way they appear to us. So we worked with some of new technologies. Okay, some of us for the first time Skyped, do online professional training, some techniques that we never used with students. Okay, we work harder, I think, with companies. It is my feeling. I think all the foreign institutions, it's a problem all over Europe. Well, we keep saying, we must put the academy more close to the business, but this is, I don't say the words, but it's not the truth. The truth is that we must write papers. We have an university career, and the entrepreneurs, the owners of the companies, have to have profit. So we have different objectives, and to merge them together, it's very hard. So it was fantastic to work with you, because I work with other universities, other cultures, other point of views, and I translate that to my students and to the companies that I work with. So it was a profitable partnership, I think, and I think we must do something together in the future. We have money, I think, 2015, 2020, okay, the new money from Europe. So, but probably it's interesting because my university it's bigger, but don't have probably the same skills you have to do this kind of projects. It's interesting because we don't have people working on projects, and your institutions work for a long time in projects. It's interesting to share this experience.
I have a question for you.
Yes, you can ask.
Whenever we apply for a project, we have to make a detailed plan of the outcomes and everything. But there is always some things that can surprise you, in both ways, of course. So what was the most positive surprise for you in this project regarding your students?
It's not high, okay? The students achieved to have new ideas, and one of the group of students starts a company. Okay. So it is a great achievement. Of course, they are already ideas to start a company, but to be in this project, they gave us motivation, probably some knowledge, probably some experience, contacts with other entrepreneurs. Okay, they catch all the ideas they can, and they start the company. So it was a great achievement.
I would like to know what's the basis of this project, and what's the advantage of being a multinational.
Okay, Anton.
So, me first again. If we are talking about the purposes of the project, then in why it is mentioned as being international, and we can say that nowadays we are not doing things on a classical, traditional way, and our students are not anymore traditional students. There is a quite different way of living, doing things, and thinking about the world and the reality. So there is a literature called, it's a term, millennials. It's a third generation of students which use the technology much better than their teachers. So the challenge of this project was how to adapt to the new challenges, to the new reality we have every day in working with our students. How to introduce entrepreneurship on, I would not say modern, but different way, not teaching classically just lectures, but giving them chances to exchange their ideas amongst themselves, to internationalize the communication, conversation between the students, exchange the ideas, giving them opportunity to use the technology to improve their knowledge, skills, and change their attitude towards the entrepreneurship. And that was the main purpose of this project when it was proposed to the European Commission.
Okay. Do you want to say something, Ursa?
Yeah, maybe I would also like to stress the in a project like this, you have the ability to cover a bigger area of geographically in terms of entrepreneurship in Europe, with all the cultural differences and similarities that we see in Europe, and you can see Europe as one main geographical area when it comes to business of today. It's huge, and it's a huge area that we teachers should cover when it comes to teaching entrepreneurship. So with a project like this, you have a platform that is bigger, and you have the possibility to exchange ideas and experiences between organizations and teachers. And this we could actually build further on. It's very valuable, because I see this as one of the main challenges of being a teacher in entrepreneurship today. Things are happening really fast, and together you can provide better teaching within entrepreneurship than you can do alone as one institution in one country.
And I can add something. We are from 4 small countries in terms of population, okay? And nowadays a new entrepreneur must think to build a company for Europe, because we don't have enough domestic markets. So our students have Erasmus and other programs from European Commission, and this kind of programs help them to be in contact with students from another country. Probably when they're going to start a company, they are going to have some connections abroad, so they can more easily expand their business to the other countries of Europe. So this is a new world. I agree with you, it's a new world. And that's why European Commission is so keen to implement partnerships for all the projects.
The question so that I have, how is it possible, or is it possible, how do you manage to teach your students to be entrepreneurs and to start their own business? Because, I don't know, entrepreneurship is something that you have within yourself. Is it? I don't know.
Yes, of course. Do you want to say something, Mariana?
Well, of course, if you don't have this need or something that would drive you to be an entrepreneur, no course and no diploma, no degree will help you. No specific knowledge will help you to be an entrepreneur. But if you would like to be an entrepreneur, if you feel that you have something to show or to offer to the market, then you will need some specific skills. If you come from the surroundings where your parents or your family have already a company, some family business, then it's much easier because you can learn from them, in the case they live in. But if you don't have that opportunity, then you need to get these skills and knowledge somewhere. So there are specific skills in management, in economy, in informatics, as it was mentioned, and many others. So it helps. The combination of both is the best.
And do you feel that the younger generation are more willing to be entrepreneur than previous generations?
For me personally, it's a difficult question, because it's hard to say that in today's world more young people becomes entrepreneurs because they would like to be, but the situation is making them is forcing them to this decision, because there are no working places that would be connected with the knowledge they have and the knowledge that society needs. So perhaps this is the reason there is more entrepreneurs between young people as in the past, but not necessarily because other changes that I believe that all of them that are starting now as entrepreneurs, young people, not all of them will succeed. Many of them will fail because they don't have the needed characteristics.
I can add another thing because I agree with Mariana. And you tell the same thing in your question that probably we must have skills that born with us, but I don't agree completely with that, because there are a strand of research, namely in America, that has been proving that we can learn to be entrepreneur. So it's very important to have a good habitat for that. It's important the context variables, but we can teach a young man or young woman to be entrepreneur. Of course, if we start earlier in life, it will be better results. Okay, we are coping with university students. It's harder, to people with 18, 20 years, to teach them how to be entrepreneur. But I'm convinced that it is possible to teach to be an entrepreneur.
Can I add there that at our school at Norvea, University of Applied Sciences in Finland, the students start their own companies during their student time. So they, in addition to the theoretical skills that we help them develop, they do the practical side during many years, all the years that they study. So they are supported with the theoretical foundation, and the practical side supports them during these years. And as just a few weeks ago we asked them how many of them, like an official survey, how many of them would like to start their own companies. So they asked that about 1/3 said that they are interested in starting their own business. And that's more
it's not 100% sure that we are going to have an entrepreneur, but it is a great rate.
Yeah.
Okay, 1/3. I think it's very good.
Yeah.
If I may add as a common denominator of do we can teach the entrepreneurship, or it is necessary to be taught. Possibly there is a truth that there are some internal characteristics which makes ones to be entrepreneur. But if you remember that one of the main characteristics of entrepreneur is a risk-taking ability. So this is what we can teach them during the classes, during the acquiring the skills and changing attitudes toward the risks.
Yes.
And taking into consideration the modern or recent labor market conditions, in the future there wouldn't be any more term employment, but self-employment, which implies that someone should acquire skills and attitudes to become an entrepreneur, to be self-employed.
Yes, of course.
I have just two more questions. First one is that if in your courses, in your university, do you urge the students to create their own employment, their own business? Or, I mean, are there real companies coming out of those courses? And the other question is, at least here in Portugal, there's a strong cultural aversion to taking risks. That doesn't happen also in your countries. It's a general problem, and how can you overcome those cultural difficulties?
Was that question for me or
all of us? For all of you.
Yeah.
Because
Okay. Yeah. The first question was about if we urge them, we support them in their ambition to start their own companies. Definitely yes, because in Finland, as in the rest also in Europe, we definitely know that we need more young entrepreneurs in the future. Without them, there won't be a Europe that lives well and lives well. So this is also one of the ambitions of the Finnish state, to support entrepreneurship ambitions in schools on all levels in Finland. So definitely yes. And the second question was?
The cultural difficulties about taking risk.
Yeah, yes, definitely. And because of this, we also celebrated the Failure Day as one national day in Finland, when we want to discuss the view on failure, individual failure and entrepreneurial failures. Why are people so hard on people that fail? And can you actually say that you actually fail, or is it just a question of attitude? And we had really good discussions with the students. We had invited entrepreneurs to discuss this view on failure, and according to them, they don't really see failure as a failure. It's more like that you maybe have a temporary period of not being as successful as you can be, and then you learn and you go up again. So maybe entrepreneurs don't look at failure in the same way, because they are more risk takers, as you mentioned. So I think this discussion about should you discuss failure and the view of failure should really be further discussed. I think this is one of the key issues, because if you look at, for example, America, the view on failure and the view of entrepreneurship is completely different as it is in Europe. So I think we should definitely discuss this further on, because this might just be one of the key issues to why we don't have a boost in terms of new companies, because the attitude should be discussed.
Yeah, well, regarding helping students at our university to establish companies during the study or immediately after that, I must say that we didn't structure our programs that way. Our programs didn't involve so many courses in entrepreneurship or in skills that would be devoted to entrepreneurship yet. We have several programs. In one we have courses in entrepreneurship, but not in all of them. But I must say that as I can see, when new programs at other universities in my country are sent in the procedure for accreditation at the national level, the majority of them consists courses in entrepreneurship. So I can say that obviously the school system found out the real situation right now, and they understand that whatever they teach their students, is it medicine or techniques or whatever, they try to implement some courses in entrepreneurship to help students to think differently. Regarding risk-taking, I believe that one of the differences between the real entrepreneur or the entrepreneur that became entrepreneur because he has to be self-employed shows when it comes to the failure, because the real entrepreneur will immediately find something new or already has new ideas, but the other one will say, this is not for me, I just need a real steady job. Yeah.
If I may answer on the first question in behalf of our university college, we are the institution specifically targeting entrepreneurship, and a set of courses is intentionally prepared to prepare students for future, either being entrepreneurs or managers in entrepreneurial activities. And our institutions is establishing for all new enrolled students the company. But because of the fact that students cannot provide commercial activities during the study, the ownership of the companies has the university college. But at the end of their study, together with their diploma, they are granted with the company, already having experience of 3 or 5 years. So within the real company, they just apply the knowledge and skills they acquired during the study. The second question, our culture doesn't allow people to fail. So it's not only the society problem, it's from the institutional point of view, because the entrepreneurs which failed, they cannot for specific time, they are not allowed to establish a new company. So they are punished if they have failed. So it practically prevents people to behave entrepreneurial or to continue their entrepreneurial activities. Other institutions, we are initiating at the national level a lot of programs or initiatives for entrepreneurship to be taught from the kindergarten until the high education institutions. So we have already courses for kindergarten, courses for elementary schools, and courses for secondary or high schools. And we are practically giving the tone, I would say, drafting the national strategy for education for entrepreneurship on all levels, in educational levels.
Okay, in Portugal, you already know we are very averse to risk taking. So, but in terms of promoting the starting of new companies, I work in this subject for the last 20 years, because in every school I have taught, I always said, the future is we don't have jobs enough for the people. Okay, we are going to have an employment rate that it's going to be structural. So we must think about self-employment. So I always teach that kind of attitude in front of life to the young. So now it's more specific. I'm working with projects of entrepreneurship, but I think I always do this. I tried other people to start not always companies, but to start projects, whatever, personal projects, professional projects.
Thank you.
We are okay. We are on schedule. Go to the room.